Welcome to the Lakers Highlights Today channel. Before we dive into the news, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get into the latest Lakers updates. What's up, Lakers fans? Are you ready for another big rumor that could shake up the season? Because this one might just change everything before the playoffs. Let's talk about the possibility of Chris Paul joining the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers have been flirting with the idea of bringing CP3 to Hollywood for years, but the perfect fit never quite materialized. Now, things might be different. With the San Antonio Spurs shifting their strategy after a major setback this season, the opportunity could be opening up at just the right time. The Spurs made a bold move by acquiring De'Aaron Fox before the trade deadline, signaling that they were ready to compete in the Western Conference. But with Victor Wembanyama ruled out for the season due to blood clots in his shoulder, the team is at a crossroads. They're too talented to completely tank, but without their young superstar, the path to the playoffs has become much more difficult. And that's where Chris Paul comes in. He landed in San Antonio as part of the Fox trade, but he was never part of their long-term plans. If the Spurs decide to buy him out, the door is wide open for the Lakers to finally make this move happen. Let's not forget, this story between CP3 and the Lakers goes way back, all the way to the infamous vetoed trade in 2011. Now, at 39 years old, he may not be the same superstar, but he remains one of the smartest playmakers in the league, a proven playoff leader, and a veteran presence that could be the perfect addition to this Lakers squad alongside LeBron James. With the Western Conference more unpredictable than ever, outside of the dominant OKC Thunder and the always dangerous Denver Nuggets, adding a playmaker of Paul's caliber could be the missing piece that turns the Lakers into true championship contenders. The wait may finally be over. After more than a decade of anticipation, Chris Paul could finally wear the purple and gold and strengthen the Lakers for the final stretch of the season. The CP3 Lakers saga started back in 2011, when the infamous trade veto by David Stern prevented him from joining Kobe Bryant. Since then, Paul has become one of the biggest what-ifs in franchise history, constantly appearing in trade rumors and speculation, especially with the possibility of forming the legendary Banana Boat crew alongside LeBron James. Now, with the Spurs shifting gears after Wembanyama's injury, keeping a veteran like Paul seems increasingly unlikely. If a buyout happens, the Lakers should act fast and secure this key piece for the playoffs. Even at 39, CP3 remains one of the smartest point guards in the NBA. He's still averaging 8 assists per game and recently passed Jason Kidd to become the second all-time leader in assists and steals. No one expects Paul to be an all-NBA player anymore, but he doesn't need to be. His role would be to orchestrate the offense, control the tempo, and take some of the playmaking pressure off LeBron James and Luka Doncic, who are the focal points of the Lakers' attack. Plus, with Jackson Hayes and Alex Len as lob threats, CP3 could instantly upgrade the team's pick-and-roll offense. The big question now is simple: will the Lakers make the move to finally bring Chris Paul home? If there's one concern with Chris Paul, it's durability. The veteran point guard has dealt with injuries in nearly every playoff run of his career, and relying on him for heavy minutes deep into the postseason would be a gamble. However, in a reduced role, where LeBron James and Anthony Davis handle most of the workload, Paul could maximize his impact while preserving his body. The Lakers don't need him to be a savior, just the missing piece that elevates them from good to great. On the other side of this equation, the Spurs entered the season with high hopes surrounding Victor Wembanyama. They doubled down on their competitive aspirations by acquiring De'Aaron Fox, giving Wemby a star point guard to accelerate his development and potentially push for a playoff spot. But everything has changed drastically. With the devastating news that Wembanyama is out for the season due to blood clots in his shoulder, San Antonio now faces a new reality. Their goal is no longer to fight for the playoffs but to think about the future and ensure that when Wemby returns, the team is even stronger. And that's exactly why keeping Chris Paul on the roster makes little sense for the Spurs. He was never part of their long-term plans, and at this stage, his presence would only take away valuable minutes from younger players in need of development. A buyout would allow San Antonio to move forward while also giving CP3 the chance to compete for a title one last time. Additionally, this decision would help the Spurs strategically rack up losses, which might be the smartest long-term play. With Wemby sidelined, securing a high draft pick in 2025 could be the missing piece to turning this team into a powerhouse alongside Fox and Wembanyama. For San Antonio, this is an unfortunate setback, but far from a disaster. Wemby's long-term health is the top priority, and while he recovers, the Spurs can position themselves for an even brighter future. Meanwhile, the Lakers are watching closely, waiting for their opportunity to finally bring Chris Paul to Hollywood. The Lakers are once again stacking big names in their pursuit of a championship. This franchise has never shied away from chasing stars, and now, after the blockbuster trade that brought Luka Doncic to Los Angeles, adding Chris Paul could be another major move to turn this team into a true super team. The clock is ticking on LeBron James' career, and if the Lakers want one last shot at a title with him, they need to surround him with difference-makers alongside the brilliant Doncic. Rob Pelinka has already shown a willingness to shake things up mid-season. Cutting Christian Wood to sign Alex Len was a clear sign that they are making adjustments quickly. If Paul joins the mix, don't be surprised if the Lakers continue making moves to add even more firepower. Currently sitting in 4th place in the Western Conference, the Lakers can't afford to stand still. If they want to give LeBron a legitimate chance at ring number 5 while also proving to Luka that they are committed to building a winning team around him, adding CP3 is a step in the right direction. With Paul in the lineup, head coach JJ Redick would have new options to experiment with. A starting 5 of Chris Paul, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura could be a dangerous small ball unit. However, Paul could also come off the bench to give LeBron and Doncic some much-needed rest in ball-handling duties. If the Lakers truly want to make a deep playoff run, betting on Chris Paul's experience and leadership could be the final piece of the puzzle. Final thoughts. Bringing in Chris Paul would add a veteran presence and one of the smartest point guards in NBA history to the Lakers roster. Even at 39, CP3 remains an elite floor general, someone who can relieve LeBron James and Luka Doncic of playmaking duties while elevating the entire team. His presence would bring more control to the Lakers' tempo, something that could be crucial in high-pressure playoff moments. However, durability concerns are real. Paul has a history of postseason injuries, and relying on him for heavy minutes is risky. The best approach would be to manage his role carefully, possibly having him come off the bench to preserve his energy for when it matters most. If the Lakers do land him, it will reinforce their win-now mindset. The franchise is clearly going all in, trying to maximize LeBron's final years while building a contender around Luka Doncic. In the end, adding Chris Paul wouldn't be a miracle solution, but it could be the move that transforms the Lakers from a dangerous team into a legitimate championship contender. Now, we want to hear from you. Would Chris Paul be the missing piece to take the Lakers to the title, or is his durability too big of a risk? How would you fit CP3 into the rotation alongside LeBron and Luka? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, Lakers Nation.